Maryland Congressman Jamie Raskin just expertly pieced apart the Republicans' arguments about the Second Amendment in less than 90 seconds. Roll the clip.
Who's an able-bodied person. I'm not going to yield, but I'm coming to you right now. My friend from Texas, Mr. Roy, advances the so-called insurrectionist view of the Second Amendment, that the Second Amendment's purpose is to give the people the right to overthrow or fight our government or fight the police or threaten armed resistance if the government is somehow being unfair or unjust. This reading is totally, absolutely absurd and flies in the face of the plain text of the Constitution, which in at least 5 different places clearly forbids armed violent resistance to the government. The Republican Guarantee Clause in Article 4, Section 4 provides that the United States shall guarantee to every state in this union a Republican form of government and shall protect each of them against invasion and on application of the legislature or the executive against domestic violence. This was put in the Constitution specifically in response to Shays' Rebellion and armed resistance to the government of the United States, which the founders strongly opposed. Here's another provision the gentleman from Texas should consider before cavalierly suggesting in public that citizens somehow have a constitutional right to use arms against our government and our police. Article 3, Section 3, Clause 1 states, in the only constitutional passage that defines a crime, treason against the United States shall consist only in levying war against them, or in adhering to their enemies, giving them aid and comfort. Armed insurrection and violence against the United States is plainly making war against our government and thus is an act of treason. And I could cite all of the other ones. And what do they have against this? A quote from Patrick Henry, an anti-federalist who opposed the Constitution precisely because he thought it gave too much power to the federal government and didn't endow the people with a right of violent resistance against the government of the United States. That's not constitutional law. That's a constitutional joke. I yield back to you, Mr. Chairman.
Jamie Raskin knows a thing or two about the Constitution. He taught constitutional law at American University for about 25 years. And as a member of the January 6th committee, he knows a thing or two about insurrections as well. There's probably no greater authority on the Constitution in the entire Congress than Jamie Raskin. So when he tells you what the Second Amendment says and what the Constitution says about insurrection, you should believe him. And I mean, Raskin is 100% right. The Founding Fathers actually hated the idea of having a standing army, which is why we had the Second Amendment in the first place. The well-regulated militia part of the Second Amendment refers to, if the country is under attack, the need for citizens to take up arms and fight the invaders. Given the fact that we have by far the most highly funded standing army in the world, the Second Amendment is kind of irrelevant. And that's not just me saying this. Former Supreme Court Justice John Paul Stevens said as much in an op-ed for the New York Times. If you want to get a gun to defend your home, great. If you want a gun to hunt your food, great. But let's not act like you need a gun to overthrow the government, which, by the way, has Hellfire drones and Abrams tanks. Your rifle ain't gonna do much about that. Once again, thank you so much for watching. Please just take a moment and click the like and subscribe button if you enjoy breaking news and analysis like this. I'm Carl Gibson with Really American Media.